All right, I'm back. Here is the worksheet called the atom structure. So here's the purpose of doing all this, and I want to remind you again, is that your 8th grade teachers have asked that I give you something that you can hopefully remember, so that when you come back to school, it'll just be a quick review and they can kind of build on what I taught you. And so that topic was chemistry. So you're going to hear a lot of these same terms over the next 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm going to just pound it into your head. Nothing too complicated, but just really the basics of chemistry. And so I really want to talk about today, again, on being able to identify the parts of an atom and the individual charges. And so if you remember from your vocab, the protons and the neutrons, and I'm sorry you can't see this in color, are located within the nucleus, or the center of the atom. And the electrons are located in what we call this electron cloud. And you'll see it a little different here than the way we drew it on our paper, just because I'm not a good drawer, you know that. And to draw that sometimes is a little difficult for me. So this is just more of like a 3-dimensional view of that, okay? All right, so let's read, all right? An atom is a tiny piece of something called an element. It's the smallest piece you can divide an element into without changing what it is. Everything that takes up space is made up of atoms, and atoms are the building blocks of the world around us. Atoms have even smaller parts inside them. The center of an atom is called the nucleus. The nucleus has protons and neutrons. Remember we talked about that in our vocab. The protons have a positive charge, and the neutrons have no charge, or a neutral charge. And tiny particles called electrons zoom around the nucleus. Remember I told you they do that in the electron cloud. Why don't we just write this out here real quick? The electron cloud. That's this whole thing right here. Okay. Electrons have a negative charge. And most of an atom is actually empty space. The number of protons in an atom is very important. Highlight that. It's called the atomic number. So when I ask you what the atomic number is of hydrogen, you are literally just going to tell me how many protons it has. You'll just say 1. Or if I said, if hydrogen has 1 proton, what's its atomic number? You'll just tell me 1. This is the same number. The atomic number tells you what kind of element it is. For example, all carbon atoms have 6 protons. Atoms of different elements have different numbers of protons, neutrons, and electrons. Okay. Atoms can join together to make molecules. Remember, that's one of your vocab words. 2 or more atoms makes a molecule. A molecule, here we go, is when 2 or more atoms stick together or are bonded together. If a molecule has different kinds of atoms, it's called a compound. Remember, water is a compound because it has hydrogen and oxygen atoms. Atoms are super old. The atoms in you and everything around you come from outer space, and many of them came from exploding stars. Most of the stuff in the universe is made of hydrogen and helium atoms. These elements make up stars like our sun. So now all I need you to do is to answer the multiple choice. Hey, by the way, this should have A, B, and C. C is on the back side, just so you know, or C and D, excuse me, so just be careful of that. Although I'll give you a hint, I think the answer's on the front page. Answer these questions. I don't even care if you want to highlight the correct answer. That's a little easier for me. But I do want you to make sure that you write these in complete sentences. The only thing that doesn't need to be written in complete sentences here is this one that says, what is the charge of a proton? You can just tell me plus, minus, or 0. Okay, here's your options, a plus, a minus, or a 0. Okay, tell me which one. All right, and yeah, that's it. When you get this done, again, come up and see me. Thanks.